trick them, think them sleep. They are trying to brainwash we. Oh, what a trick them, think them sleep. They are trying to brainwash we.
You know, someone once told me the other day that white people were evolved. That white people had muscled through the tears and wears of survival and had come out the evolutionary victors. Damn the rest. We'll deal with it on an intellectual basis. Because I think those kinds of arguments are dangerous. Here's the thing about that argument. Is it suffers on several fronts. The first front it suffers on is the literal definition of evolution. And that has actually a couple subsections in and of itself. Because first off, time is needed to prove something's evolved. All right? That the traits that the specimen has are that which survive the elements. All right, so that's a tertiary point on the matter. All right, because that's another one too. We need to talk about that too. So we've got the fact that it needs time to be proven. We got the fact that evolution is regarding the environment. Evolution does not, I said not, does not take into account a human being choosing to kill you and your capacity to kill them first. It's environment. You can deal with the wind, you can deal with the food, you can deal with the energy needs, you can deal with these things without dying out. That's it. It does not include somebody walking up to you putting a knife in your back. That's an environmental factor. Yeah, I mean you can argue. I was never meant that way, and it should be left out. Because that's choice you're talking about there. You're not talking about weather or benign / inert environmental factors. So already you can't even include a species. Just another point, by the way. A race, I misspoke there. A race's capacity to survive another race doesn't count. That's not it. You're not talking about evolution at that point. You're talking about something else. You're not talking about evolution. Alright. So you can't say you evolved then. Alright, that's the point. Alright, so that's like that. Another point. And the other thing is false flat. Is you look at speciation. We're all the same species. So if it's your statement then that you can kill me before I can kill you, and that's what determines who evolves. That is simply the antithesis of evolution. And that looks a lot like a fatal mutation. I really don't understand where survival stems from a lake full of leeches whose primary, secondary, whose food source is all leeches, other leeches. I don't know how that ecosystem came to be, but it certainly won't survive with that precedent. Can't happen. That ecosystem died. It has to die. I guarantee you, whatever Africans did for 200,000 years to survive on this planet, it couldn't have been feed on each other. Period. No. The capacity to kill your neighbor is not the mark of having, the ability to survive. To the opposite. It's like Dr. Clark said. No, the capacity to live peacefully alongside your neighbor. That must be the mark of the capacity to survive. That must be the mark of evolution. Very clear. Don't let these jokers run that game on you. But we invented the computers and the internet and automobiles and cold medicine and MRI machines and space and no. You do not have to go into the records to find out which black people contributed which black ideas to which black inventions, or which things black people created and white people patented. You don't even have to go into that part. You can, by all means, if you have the time, but you don't even have to go into that. All you have to know is that what Europe is privy to is, listen, England has so much garbage over the years that they can't put nowhere, that they had to put in the ocean. England has nearly a mile of extended shoreline from where it was 500 years ago of pure garbage. So what England can do without black people and red people, without the land of the red, the labor of the black, and the blood of both, is they can have an extra mile around their country of garbage, and they can have crooked teeth without black people. Too much brother-sister business going on. That's what they privy to. That they can claim is theirs. They can claim nothing else because it is not theirs. If I kill and steal $100 from your grandpa, use my leisure time, my leisure comfort, my leisure everything at your cost, mind you, to go ahead and research, because that's where technology and research comes from, is the time to do it, the comfort to do it. If you're in a farm all day long trying to, put food on your family's plate, you simply will not have the resources to test rockets in labs. You can't do both. Sorry. But if you steal an entire race of people and exploit them for a few centuries to where everything they work for doesn't go to them and theirs, but goes to you and yours. I'll give you that. You can, lots of time in the lab now. All right, let's be clear. Crystal clear. If I steal $100 from your grandpa, research computers, and sell you a computer, I've only sold you your own computer back to you. That's not my computer. The money was stolen. Everything it took to make that computer is bloody and stolen. Don't talk to me about anything else. Because you know what, if it was you, if I walk in your house, take your computer monitor you're looking at right now, what are you going to tell the cops? A thief took his own monitor? Are you going to say a thief took my monitor? What would you say to that cop if the cop looked at you and said, yeah, it was yours, but then he took it, now it's his? It's not so fun when it's aimed back at you, huh? It's not so fun when you're the victim of your own fecal-like behavior. Because that's a real shitty way to act. Is to take something from someone like that. You understand? It's like taking candy from a baby. I don't know who would find that easy. I would look at the little eyes looking up at me, and I'd be like, oh man, here, fucking have it back. Fuck, I don't want that candy. Fuck it. Little guy. Sorry. I don't think it's easy taking candy from the fucking baby, man. Probably not, man. Here, man. Sorry. I'm sorry I made you cry. Here. Take it. I want it. I'll get my own. Period. So that's how civilized people think. I think that's how civilized people would look at the situation. All right. So, no, they created, invented nothing. Europe's a resourceless region. Refuse and crooked teeth. That's what they have a claim to. Evolved, time will tell. But no, it's not looking good. No. How come you're evolved? Because I have the power to kill you before you kill me. But we're the same species, stupid. The fuck you talking about? We're the same species. You said evolved. Okay, you want to use other words. Be my guest, and I have no contention if you want to call them master destroyers, for instance. No problem there. That's what they are. I'm not going to run from the truth, man. If the truth offends me, my mind needs to change. Not a lie needs to be invented. That's what they do. That's how they act. When the truth offends them, they invent a lie every time like clockwork. Or talk about something, detract, deflect, something, whatever. Just let's not deal with the truth. That's white supremacy. I'm not a white supremacist. So somebody tell me something that's painful, but it's true. It is what it is. All right, so how do we, adapt to this? How do we, deal with it? What then? What does that mean then? Like that. How should I react, right? And I'm sorry to say, yeah, they're master destroyers. No doubt about it. I wish I didn't have to report that to you. Okay? I wish I could report that they'll be stopped any minute. That everything's in place and ready. Just give it a sec. Maybe a little bit further down the road, but not just yet. So it is what it is. The masters, sure. You want to call them? They're experts at dominating their fellow human being. Okay, I mean, the record seems to show that. So how can I really argue? I can't really argue it. It's humiliating to admit it. It's not fun. It hurts to say that. But they're very good at exploiting, everybody around them and taking everything that everyone else has and for themselves. It's an amazing, kind of thing. So I can't run from it. But you can't call it evolved. You can't call it evolved, and you can't call their so-called inventions theirs. They're not theirs. That is blood and pain and lives parlayed into power. That's all that is. And technology. That's all that is. That is black and red people's blood and land and labor. Parlayed. That's all it is. It's yours. Not theirs. You had the comfort to think too? No problem. Then you would have made it out of your own. It's not a coincidence that black people started melting metal and white people started melting metal. That's not a coincidence. Maybe white people learned it from black people. I don't know. Maybe that's true. But it wouldn't have to be. It wouldn't have to be true. It's entirely possible and plausible that way up north, some white guy, saw some things, had some time to think, and said, I think we can melt these rocks I think we can melt this iron ore and make some, like that. Maybe they look at a volcano and say, I don't know, whatever it was. But it's entirely possible, that two thinkers, thousands of miles apart, thought of the same thing. That's how technology works, how progress is made. Thinkers. People that have the time to think. And like I say, when you can put, 100 people in a field to do all your work for you, to fill your plate, so you can sit on your porch and think, you're good. That's not you. Whatever you think for was bought and paid for by the blood of the black. Period. At your impotence of their progress, you had to completely, utterly impede upon and reverse. Not just impede, but reverse. You had to utterly impede upon and reverse their capacity to do for self, to advance themselves, for you to have what you have. So they paid for it. They paid for what you have, in all variations. If the Marines walk in and say, this is, aside from going around the Antarctic or the South Pole and the North Pole, there's this one spot in the middle of North America called the Panama Canal, where ships can go straight from Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. And they get taxed every time they go through, like a toll booth. That would be some prime real estate. The professor said it. Send in the Marines. Have our fourth branch spin up, drum up, trump up. Imagine a story that explains what the hell we're doing there and why we would own and control that land after we leave or stay there. And dust their hands off and go on to the next project. So whether they're just taking shit outright, or whether it's the labor or land of others, without which they couldn't have what they have, or made what they made, or had the time to think about what they thought about, etc., 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 and it's not theirs. That's a very hard argument to impress on anybody in a YouTube chat comment that's talking about whites are evolved. And maybe for some instances it takes a little more time to really thoroughly dismantle, what they're saying with receipts. I'm not sure how you would make this case to someone like that other than to say, shut your lying mouth, and no, you're not. You're not evolved. In fact, you're devolving mankind. Whatever people did for 200,000 years, if everybody starts acting like you, this thing's over in a short order. So you're not evolving. You're like the antithesis of evolution. Maybe that's the quickest and briefest you can make it. Without going to explanation, I don't know. But I do know that this talk about Europeans are the evolved man is just filthy. It's damaging. It's a complete lie. It's easily believed. And upon learning a lie like that, a youngster of non-white, particularly Africa, a youngster, is their whole paradigm can shift. I'm not fucking around. I'm not fucking around with the point. If a 6-year-old hears that from a white supremacist on YouTube, they may very, very, very well be in a different spot in 30 years. I'm not joking. Words matter. Ideas matter. How kids see the world matters. If you have the mental clarity, sanity, and self-control to counter these bastards online, by all means, and educate the youngsters that are looking on. Absolutely. Because it's not just words. These lies are so invasive. I can't even imagine how many lies I haven't yet regurgitated. I don't know. It's been a while since I regurgitated a lie. It's been a while, but I'm sure one's around the corner. I'm sure of it. There's always something, I'm like, damn, I used to believe that. Wait a minute. Damn, wait, if that's true, then this is bullshit here. If this is bullshit, then so is that. and this and that, and you're just puking all day long. It's a good thing. If there's a way to stop from being fed lies, that would be optimal. In the first place, you don't have to nothing to regurgitate nothing, but as it is, it's better to regurgitate than digest that. So that's all I'm saying, man. These youngsters, digest, the wrong information, man. Don't tell me that can't and doesn't and hasn't ever changed the course of someone's life, man. Can't tell me that. It's not sensationalist. I'm not trying to, exaggerate the point. I'm talking about cause and consequence here, and that is, something that's worth doing. So that's my take on evolution versus fatal mutation. By definition, we'll need some time to prove that case, but not most or some, but all speculation would conclude that this is a fatal mutation that we are dealing with. Look, man, even if they successfully wipe non-white people off the face of this earth, man, white people will forevermore have hostile borders on all fucking sides because they need to dominate. That's in them. They drew the line between man and woman before they met black people, and then they redrew the line between whites and blacks. Without non-whites on the planet, they will redraw another line. It might be over 6 feet or under 6 feet. It's really that fickle. It's really that insignificant and stupid. It's really that childish. But they will draw a line so that one group can work at dominating another. Always and only, always, only. It might be north and south. It might be east and west. It might be Smiths and Jones. But they will pick some difference to draw a line between and say, that's what matters. And those people over there deserve to be subjugated by us if we can manage to do it. And that's what they do. And they're going to never stop doing that, man. Because then white supremacy will just take another name. And it will change from white supremacy to man supremacy to northern supremacy to over 6 feet supremacy. You understand? Just like that. To brown hair supremacy. Does it something no matter what. And they'll forevermore cut each other's throat. Until there's no more humans left. It's no big deal. Because natural disaster going to come along and fucking doing the last 2,000. Whereas if they hadn't been busy genociding people in Australia and Central America, South America, North America, everywhere in the world, they find them Africa, North and East and West and South Africa, South Asia, all them Polynesian islands, everything. If they were not busy genociding everybody everywhere, then when the last natural disaster hits, takes those last 2,000 people, you know what? It's gonna be some native, some aborigines from Australia jump in a canoe and paddle and find New Guinea, repopulate, find South Asia, repopulate. And boom, mankind's still happening, our species is still surviving. So we're talking about evolution. But if you go ahead and wipe out the Aborigines and go ahead and wipe out the Arawak and go ahead and wipe out the Incans and everybody. Well, when that last 2,000 goes, then that's it, right? So that's what we're talking about. When you're talking about evolution, that needs to be entered into evidence. That when you genocide groups of people that might survive natural disasters that the rest of us won't, because they're simply out of the region, it's all part of it. The capacity to destroy mankind can't possibly be with the synonymous with mankind's survival. What kind of only a white supremacist is something so stupid. Only a white supremacist. An African tell you, no, dummy, it must be how best you get along with one another. It must be how much you value life, actually. and willing to sacrifice to protect it. That must be the evolution there, right there. And it can't possibly be those that kill life the best. You're talking, that's how stupid the argument is. Let's be clear. Nothing they have is theirs. Nothing they made is theirs. Nothing. Their crooked teeth and the extra mile of garbage shoreline around England, that they would have had that without Africans. Fair enough. That's it. That's it. Not a lick more. Not a lick.
What a trick, them think them sleep.